gentlemen, very warm welcome to the 17th Annual Manufacturing Leaders Summit.
So here we are then on day one of the Manufacturing Leaders Summit, and we are on air, and I'm joined by Nigel Paine of Carlsberg Britvic. Nigel, fantastic to have you at the event.
Great to be back here. It's my second year. Fantastic. Couldn't miss it.
So tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing at the event today. You'll be joining me on stage on day one during a panel discussion, and you're also hosting a table, I believe.
Yeah, fantastic. I've got two subject matters talking about today. I think we're on stage talking about digitisation of the manufacturing environment, and some of the cultural pressures that come with that, you know, what are the barriers stopping people from really getting behind it. But equally close to my heart, and what I spoke about when I was here last year, was really sustainability through the supply chain, and particularly how to sort of overcome the barriers that people see, perception of cost, meaning you can't be sustainable, which really isn't the truth if you look at it carefully.
Well, maybe talk to us a little bit about the work that you've been doing at Carlsberg Britvic around sustainability in Scope 1 and 2 and also in Scope 3 as well.
So, I mean, most of what we've done is starting with really simple stuff. Use less energy, okay? Because one of the big barriers often comes around to go for sustainable solutions takes a lot of capital or a lot of OPEX. Actually, if you start with use less, then that's always less expensive, okay? So that comes free. Takes quite a bit of thinking, but it's the best thing to do. But beyond that, where we are putting new technology in, we've tried various different types of technology. So, for example, we've moved away from gas into heat pump solutions. Okay, and that's been really good in our London-based. We've put in some solar farms to cover our electricity at our production site, so moving away from grid electricity, and we've got that sleeved in, so taking a bit of control. We're trying to go to the next stage now, which take full ownership. So if you ever go, I'm sure most manufacturing sites, if you're ever fortunate enough to come to one of ours, what you'll see is tons and tons of roof space, all pointing up into those sunny skies that we have most of the year. We calculate that if we were to do that across our entire estate, that would be 25% of our UK electricity needs taken up by onboarding that usage ourselves.
But interesting when you said the starting point was very much starting simple, because it can be quite daunting, can't it? You mentioned it takes a lot of capital. So when a manufacturer is trying to become more environmentally friendly and start on a sustainability project, are you saying that is the best place to start, is small and simple? Yeah,
I mean, everyone in supply chain will be very familiar with like zero-based budgeting. One of the things we've done is take that to energy usage or other areas for us in sustainability, water usage, packaging, and it's really trying to take out waste along every single step of the journey. The more you take out, the cheaper it is. And actually what we find is there's two routes to it. First of all is that we make drinks. We're not experts in sustainable solutions, so we do work with partners. However, nobody knows our sites and our production processes better than us and our teams, but it's particularly the teams at the shop floor or the front line. That's where the best ideas come from. It's about making it accessible for them, making it feel like it's an important thing that we should make a difference on. People get rewarded for sustainable solutions, but it's also making it really easy to do it. If you ever come to a Carlsberg Britvic site, what you'll see is QR code city. Everywhere you go, back of toilet doors, really good tip to put QR codes. We allow people to go in, they can quickly register anonymously or otherwise, great ideas that they've got. If they want to put their name down, we always give regular prizes and rewards for finding solutions.
Because we live in quite, more certainly a sustainability-minded, sort of everyday people are more concerned now about where they're getting their products from. They're looking out for environmentally friendly labels. So did you need to persuade people really to get involved in those sorts of initiatives? Because it is very much at the forefront of people's minds more and more nowadays, isn't it?
It is. Actually, it's interesting because if you think about where we've talked about actually talking to our customers and consumers about our products and how sustainable they are, it's important. But actually, people need to make their own minds up. So putting pictures of carbon footprint or reassurance on a pack only goes so far. People will decide if they want to move to a different type of bottle, so they want an aluminium bottle rather than a plastic bottle, that's their choice. We need to give that choice and make that choice available. that means we need to find what the consumer or the shopper thinks is more sustainable, and we've got to invest in that and go after it. And ultimately, we've got in our supply chain, we've got 5,000 employees in the UK, and they're all consumers of the products. So the knowledge base is actually in the company already.
Interesting. Let's talk more about that technology piece. And you mentioned just a moment ago how it's been deployed in your supply chain at Carlsberg Britvic. But that starting point, were there any challenges there in terms of getting people involved and kind of getting people up to speed with the technology? What were some of the cultural barriers there, did you feel, when you went to implement that?
Yeah, okay. Well, there were several. I think probably the two that really stand out is there's either fear or familiarity. And what I mean by that is, as soon as some piece of technology comes and it disrupts your day-to-day life, working life, you're either fearful, and that could be fearful I won't be able to use it, I'll fall backwards. It could be fearful that someone's looking over my shoulder to check I'm doing my job and really want to punish me, or, it always comes from negative to start with. And there's the other bit, which is familiarity, which is, well, why do I need to change? I've been doing this for years and it's really easy. I don't want the confusion of doing something different. So they're the two big barriers that we found. How have we got round them? Well, it's really about engagement. So a lot of the visions start way away from the shop floor, even with a third party or some expert in IT, which I'm certainly not. But it's really about trying to learn a layman's way of explaining what's going on. So create an elevator speech as a leader, and actually go to all of the people who are going to be impacted by the change and explain it day in, day out. There's the old phrase, and so this is really about do as I do. It's not the do as I tell. You've got to be seen to be involved yourself and engaged.
Yeah, interesting. And then do you feel that really needs to come, any sort of digital transformation needs to come from the top? It needs to be top down? Or do you think that depends on the company and the expertise in that particular company? Because you've said already that, you're not an expert in certain fields, so you do depend on the people in your organisation. But at the same time, to really get that embedded across your company, do you feel that you do need to be at every stage and you do need to be driving this stuff?
I think the reason, if you take that, why would we want to make change? To be more efficient, to be more competitive, to cut costs, whatever the reason, that really comes from the top down, okay? Because that's strategic direction. That could be linked to anything from your group to your shareholders, whatever it might be. Actually, design of what you do is likely to come from third party, unless you're a tech business, which we're not. But what we need to do. So it might be we say we need to be more efficient. That comes top down. What we then say is, okay, here's all the things that can make you more efficient in manufacturing. That comes from a third party. But then it comes to specifically how do we deploy that in our business. That really comes bottom up, because that's the people who know exactly how to deploy it, and and what we already do and what shortcuts we're already taking that we need to be better than rather than worse than.
Yeah, interesting. And then maybe just to tie it all together, and I think you, to be fair, already have touched on a few points and tips that other companies can pick up, but just around implementing digital supply chain sustainability, the stuff you've been talking about, what would be some of your tips to other companies listening to this?
I think the biggest one for me is, number one, make it important. So make everyone realise that it's for the benefit of the organisation and there's a reason to do it. You make it important by talking about it a lot, making visible. I definitely think reward and recognition plays a part in there. So take away that fear element and make it something that people want to go after. But the biggest thing that I would say is remember, you're an expert in what you do. For us, it's making drinks. We know that we want to be more sustainable. We know we want to be more advanced in our technology. There's loads and loads of other companies out there who can help you in that space and save you money along the way. And actually coming to an event like this, Manufacturer Live, is fantastic for that, because I can see lots of them walking around, and I'm hopeful that people are going to answer problems that I've got at the moment and take me forward a step.
Yeah, I might just get you just to compound that a little further and just tell us why you think, you're back again at this event, so you must find it beneficial in some way. What do you think are the benefits of coming along to events like this? Coming
along to this event, there's first of all, networking is fantastic, just to meet like-minded colleagues who've got all of the same pressures and trials and tribulations on a day-to-day business. The biggest bit, though, is we've got lots of things we're trying to solve as an organisation. There are loads of people here who've either had experience of that or have got solutions that I haven't yet found, and I'm hoping that I can share them and have them shared with me over the next 2 days.
Thanks for joining us, Nigel.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.